Welcome to the Deep Dive, and folks, get ready for some serious post-game analysis. We're diving headfirst into the electrifying world of COPACCHAI. That's our premier continental football federation, of course. Specifically, we're tearing down the knockout stages of both the men's and women's East Challenge Cups from Super July. For weeks, fans across the continent, well, they've been glued to their screens, haven't they? Witnessing upsets, incredible comebacks, dramatic red cards, and ultimately championship glory. Today, we're cutting through all that noise. What were the defining storylines? Which teams defied, like every expectation, and who just crumbled when the pressure was at its absolute peak?
Yeah, our mission today is basically to dissect the game tape like never before. We're going to pull out the critical insights, really understand why these moments mattered so much, and what they tell us about the spirit and strategy of competitive football. We'll be looking beyond just the raw scores to the tactical decisions that shifted momentum, the physical tolls these high-stakes matches demanded, and look, the sheer mental fortitude that defined the champions, and, well, the nearly rans too.
All right, let's unpack the Men's East Challenge Cup. From the very first whistle of the quarterfinals, it was abundantly clear this wasn't going to be, a quiet tournament. We kicked off with a truly compelling narrative. Fortuna, first team ever from the rugged defensive region of Bruneschab to reach the knockouts, facing off against München favorites. Susan Sharp, known for their polished attacking play. Big contrast. Now, Fortuna's underdog desire, their hunger to make history, well, it seemed to morph into something else on the pitch. Pure aggression, maybe. We saw 2 Fortuna players sent off. An early red card drastically shifted the game's momentum, and then a second dismissal later. Well, that completely crippled any chance of a comeback. They played nearly an hour with 9 men. Can you imagine the frustration?
Well, what's fascinating here is the ripple effect of that aggressive approach. Susan Sharp, they won comfortably 3-0 in the end, score-wise, but they paid a significant price, had to make 4 substitutions due to physical issues with at least 2 looking like serious injuries, so it raises a crucial point. Fortuna's ill-disciplined play, while obviously not winning them the game, it certainly took a substantial physical toll on the favorites. It felt like a Pyrrhic victory for Susan. They won the battle, sure, but maybe weakened themselves for the war ahead.
Definitely. And if Fortuna couldn't keep their dream alive, well, another team certainly did. The Yefimai Sea Zebras from the coastal plains of Belarusian. I mean, who saw them coming? An utterly unexpected presence in the knockouts, barely registering on most pundits' radars, and they pulled off a fantastic 3-1 victory over Lyon from Yunjian. A true dark horse emerging, playing with absolutely nothing to lose. That was exciting. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, we saw another 3-1 scoreline. But this time, it was a dominant display from Hansung Bun of Yunjian. They confidently defeated Homnam Peacocks from Belarusian. Very clinical, efficient, laid down a real marker. But okay, our final quarterfinal match delivered the kind of drama that just sets pulses racing. Here's where it truly gets captivating. The Metis Kahikam carrying mules, also from Belarusian, had a commanding 2-0 lead over München's tactical masters, Laksan and Aquarigia. Looked like a clear path to the semis, right, for, 70 minutes, yes?
Yeah, but as that clock wound down, you could feel a shift, couldn't you? A palpable shift.
Yeah.
Laksan Aquarigia, a team renowned for their, unyielding spirit. They found a spark. 74th minute, the comeback begins. They pushed, they pressed, and then boom. 88th minute.
The equalizer.
Right, sending the game into extra time. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the carrying mules, who'd been so resolute, they ran out of steam completely in extra time, conceded 4 more goals.
Oh, wow.
So, while Laksan Aquarigia ultimately showed their quality with that remarkable 6-2 win after extra time, that near early exit, it does raise significant questions about their consistency, maybe their mental fortitude early in games. It's a testament to their comeback ability, no doubt, but also maybe a glaring warning sign about the danger of complacency, perhaps.
Those quarterfinals certainly set a chaotic tone, didn't they? Just wild. And if you thought the drama peaked there, you were wrong. Because moving into the semifinals, the stakes were even higher, and that Sea Zebras underdog story, it was just beginning its most unbelievable chapter. The Sea Zebras were at it again, stunning everyone, going up 2-0 against Susan Sharp, thanks to a penalty and an own goal. I mean, you just couldn't script it. But then came what everyone, myself included, expected to be the turning point. A Sea Zebras player was sent off in the 52nd minute. Most teams buckle there, right? surely.
Well, this is where Susan Sharp's earlier Pyrrhic victory, as we called it, really comes back into play, I think. Despite dominating possession from that point onward, with the man advantage, Susan only managed to score once.
Just once.
Yeah, late on 84th minute. Their physical limitations, stemming from that brutal Fortuna match, they clearly played a decisive role again. It wasn't just tired legs, you could see it. Their usual midfield press wasn't quite there, leaving space. Their passing wasn't as crisp. Lacked precision, maybe, indicating deep fatigue, perhaps a lack of explosive power in that final third.
Unbelievable. So the FMIC Zebras somehow held on to win 2-1.
They did.
Sending them to the final. This wasn't just a shock. For many, it's one of the biggest upsets in the entire history of the COPACCHAI Challenge Cup. I mean, they're not even considered a powerhouse within their own region, Belarusian.
Right.
It's the kind of story that reminds you why we love this sport. Just incredible. Okay, so on the other side of the semifinal bracket, Loksana Korija, having narrowly escaped their quarterfinal scare, they seemed to prove their quality right from the outset this time. Beat Hansong Boon 3-1, booking their well-deserved spot in the final. And, importantly, without any nail-biting last-minute drama, they looked like a team that had, learned its lesson from that close call.
Seemed much more focused, yeah.
So the stage was set for the grand final. The fairy tale story of the Sea Zebras against the powerhouse, Loksana Korija. Could the underdog pull off one last miracle? And the final began with a stunning echo of the semifinal for the Sea Zebras. A breathtaking 2-0 lead within just 25 minutes. You could almost hear the collective gasp of the fans thinking, oh my goodness, this is it, the dream is real.
But what's fascinating here is Loksana Koryija's response this time. Unlike Susan Sharp, they seemed far more prepared mentally for a comeback. They didn't panic, scored their first goal pretty quickly around the 30-minute mark, and then they just kept pushing for the equalizer. Patiently. They didn't resort to desperate long balls or anything like that. Their mental fortitude was evident, I thought. Disciplined tactical adjustments, maintaining possession, patiently probing that Sea Zebra suspense. They couldn't quite break through completely, though. Not until the 80th minute.
The 80th minute. And just like that, 2-2. And at that precise moment, the FMIC Zebras, they just seemed to lose all composure. You could literally see the wind go out of their sails, their fairy tale just turning into a nightmare in real time. It was tough to watch, actually.
Yeah, it was. And Laxon, sensing that shift, they kept up the relentless pressure.
And found the go-ahead goal by the 88th minute, crushing. The underdog dream was ultimately crushed. Just ran out of steam, maybe belief.
Maybe both. The pressure finally told.
But on the other side, Loksana Korija lifted their first ever Challenge Cup title, earning their well-deserved spot in the prestigious Elite Cup next year. What a journey for them, from almost blowing it in the quarters to hoisting the trophy, a true testament to resilience, quality, and just never, ever giving up.
Absolutely. A deserved win in the end, despite the scares.
All right, let's shift our focus then. Let's talk about the Women's East Challenge Cup, which delivered its own unique brand of intense knockout action, leading to, a truly dominant performance in the final. The semifinals featured two thrilling national duels that had fans buzzing. Really good stuff. First, an all-Munchen clash. Aiden Umbra, a formidable team known for their disciplined style, against Orange Chandelier. Fantastic game, packed with chances on both sides. A real back-and-forth contest. Aiden Umbra ultimately emerged victorious, 4-2.
Great attack in football in that one.
Yeah, and the other semifinal was the biggest derby in Pontai, pitting the fiercely competitive Ranjagapun against their bitter rivals, Pandora. If the first semi was good, this one was maybe even better. All that rivalry adding layers of intensity to the great football on display, and the score was the same, 4-2, this time favoring Ranjagapun. The tension was palpable, you felt it through the screen.
Huge win for Ranjagapun in that context.
Definitely. So after those two intense, closely contested semifinals, everyone expected a very balanced and entertaining final between Aiden Umbra and Ranjagapun. The stage was set for what should have been a real nail-biter, a fitting end to the tournament.
Yeah, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, it unfortunately wasn't to be the balanced contest many anticipated. Not at all. Aiden Umbra had total control of the game right from the start. They simply dominated, beating Ranjagapun 3-0. This wasn't just a win, it was a complete masterclass tactically. Their dominance, it really stemmed from this relentless counterpress. It just stifled Ranjagapun's build-up play completely. And then they immediately exploited Ranjagapun's high defensive line, won the ball back in dangerous areas, caught the central defenders isolated time and again, allowing their wide players to just exploit space and deliver clinical finishes. The Pontian team, Ranjagapun, they never seemed to have a chance.
Wow, 3-0. So quite quite unexpected given their semi-final performance.
Very unexpected, yes. Aid and Umbra were just on another level that day.
And with that commanding victory, Aid and Umbra continues a pretty significant trend, don't they? They become the third team in a row from Munchen to win the East Challenge Cup. That's dominance. And their reward, a debut in the Women's Elite Cup in 2026. This isn't just a team, it's a true powerhouse emerging, making a very clear statement about Munchen's growing strength in women's football.
A real statement win, absolutely.
So, wrapping this all up, what does this all mean for the world of COPACCHAI football? We saw the exhilarating power of an underdog run, didn't we? The importance of composure under just immense pressure. And yeah, the brutal physical toll that these high-stakes games can take on even the most favored teams. Susan Sharp being a prime example. It was a tournament of incredible highs and, well, devastating lows. A true microcosm of the beautiful game.
It really was, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does the Sea Zebra's incredible journey, even though it ended in heartbreak, what does that teach us about the sheer, unyielding spirit of competition, the power of belief? And then for teams like Lax and Aqua Regia and Aid and Umbra, now that they've tasted that championship glory, secured their Elite Cup berths, how will they fare when they step up to that next level next year? Will the increased pressure be too much, or will this experience actually elevate them even further? Big questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a powerful testament, I think, to the fact that in these tournaments, the story isn't just about who lifts the trophy at the end, it's about how they get there, the obstacles they overcome, the sheer emotional roller coaster they ride along the way. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into COPACCHAI Super July. We hope you feel thoroughly informed and maybe, just maybe, a little inspired by the sheer drama that unfolded on the field. As you go about your day, maybe consider this. In the world of competitive sports, and perhaps even in life, what does it truly take to sustain an underdog run? And when does the weight of that dream, that expectation, just become too heavy to carry? Something to think about.